Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a drawing process video featuring Zoey from Huntrix, Kpop Demon Hunters. Sorry. So we're going through sketch phase, line art, flat coloring, and the rendering process. So let's start with the sketch first, as you can see here, and incoming me, woohoo, ready out. So when you want to sketch, you want to just do a quick rough work, loose strokes, that's the tip for it. You don't want to be perfect in this stage, that's for line art. So you want to roughly draw out how you want your character to look like, and all the small details and everything you want to incorporate, you just want to kind of put it there. And then this is the line art phase where you kind of refine everything. Usually a lot of people do this in the same layer and kind of refine the sketch, but I like to have it in a different layer so that I have more control of how I want the strokes to be. I like to redraw everything and vary the line weight in some places, make it lighter in some places, and make it as soft as possible, kind of, as you can see in the Speedpaint here. Quick little adjustments and tweaking, doing the face a little bit, making sure the eyelashes are thick, all the features, everything. I need to put it in the right spot, make some adjustments, and that's how you want your line art to go through. You can make it loosely like this as well if you want. You can make it more crisp if you want. It's completely up to you. I like it a little bit sketchy, but also kind of loose, if that makes sense. Then comes the flat layers. This is where you want to put down your base colors. I like to start with one color to block out everything. So I pick a random color at first. And what I mean by a random color is a color that is visible to me. So I don't pick something too light or too dark, something in the middle so that I can see what I'm drawing. So after I block it out, I like to choose the skin color as the base. That's what I call it, the base, because it is the lowest part. So then I make multiple layers and making clipping masks of those layers to the base, which is the skin color you can see here. And once you do that, you want to separate different layers according to the different parts of the drawings. For example, for the hair, I have a separate layer. I have a separate layer for the accessories, the glowing golden stuff. I also have a separate layer for the clothes. So that's how you want it to go. You want to separate everything as much as you can according to your own comfort. I just like to do skin, hair, and clothes separate, and then you have a fourth layer for all the accessories and jewelries. Right, so after that is done, you can see now we move on to the rendering stage. Over here now, what you want to do, what I like to do, is set the mood of the atmosphere first. So you want to set the mood of the atmosphere by figuring out what kind of ambience you want the environment to be. Over here I'm going for like something luminescent and something that would mimic stage lights and stage presence here like they had in the movie. So I kind of roughly do that with the background before I start the shading. Now for the shading, I like to go in and do it in two ways. One is going in and coloring all the lighter areas, so wherever the light hits, I go in with the lightest color I can and block it in. And then for the shading layer, I go in and block it in with a darker color, and I put that in first for every single layer. So I'm doing the skin first, and I'll move on to the hair and the clothes. And after I've blocked out the light and the shade, I go in with the ambience light over here in case it's some purples and some blues. I softly put that in some areas, and then I start refining everything. As you can see here, now that I've blocked most of it out, I have been using curves and doing a little bit of tweakings and a little bit of details here and there. So I do this with every single part. I've done the skin, and now I'm moving on to the clothes, the top and then the bottom, and all the details and everything you want to go in slowly and see how it works. The curves actually help you find the right contrast and the right color harmony as well, if that makes sense. I know I'm using a lot of fancy words, but it's just to make it sound nicer. You just want it to look good to you when you're trying to do the curves. You are the one that's going to fix the curves and decide if it looks how you want it to look, basically. At the end, I'm also adding some texture to the pants and the clothes a little bit, and also using a little bit of bounce light to enhance it. Again, as you can see, once I do the lighting and shading and the bounce light, I like to go in with the curves and fix the harmony of all the colors together in the separate layers and the separate parts of the painting. Over here, I'm doing the weapon as well. It's very glittery, very luminescent, so I'm going in with all the colors that was referenced in the original film. And lastly, as you can see me doing here, I am enhancing the highlights and trying to contrast the darkness of the images. No, the darkness of the painting. Sorry, my bad. Right, so what I like to do is go with the special layers, for example, overlay, add layer, all of those color dodge layers and everything. And I like to go in with those layers for the highlights and the shadows, and go in with a little bit of multiply and try to make it more contrasty, make it a little more glowy as well. After I've done the character itself, now I go back into the background and try adjusting the colors a little bit, add some texture, back in with the curves to see how it works with the subject on the front as well, and tweak everything possible and however you want. So I add some elements, I add some sparkles, some glitter, and all of that stuff. Once I've adjusted the background how I like it, I just put in my name and voila, that's it. That's how I made this happen. It took me around 2.5 hours, I suppose, and it was a really fun little experiment. So anybody can follow the process or just make a process that suits your art better. This is what helps me make my art how it is, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can check out my other videos as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye!